NFL divisions are most certainly not created equal.
No one in the planet, except for Micah Parsons, thought the NFC East was better than the AFC North.
Is your favorite team's division going to be an absolute breeze? Or is that a division full of sharks? Today, we take a bit of a look. Number 8, NFC South. The NFC South last produced a team with double-digit wins in 2021. That was Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went 13-4. The Atlanta Falcons are now the team to beat in the division after signing Kirk Cousins to a 4-year deal worth $180 million. Yet, their decision to take Washington QB Michael Penix Jr. 8th overall strongly indicates that they're still not really committed to a win-now strategy. Atlanta hasn't had a winning season since 2017. Cousins should change that, but this team ceiling is like 10 or 11 wins at best. And it's hard to envision them getting past the divisional round in a conference with the San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, and Philadelphia Eagles. The Bucs overachieved last year with a 9-8 record. Color are skeptical that Baker Mayfield is going to repeat his career year. New Orleans Saints are who they are, a mushy middle team that'll finish in the 7-9 win range. They just refuse to rebuild, and it is really starting to catch up on them. It's only fitting that a mediocre team is committed to the epitome of mediocre quarterbacks in Derek Carr. At best, New Orleans will win 9 games in the NFC South. Then they'll get crushed in the wild card round by whoever. The Carolina Panthers, well, I mean, they can't be any worse after a 2-15 season. Bryce Young can hopefully only improve after a very horrid rookie year. But the Panthers aren't realistically anywhere close to contention. Number 7, AFC South. We have no doubt the reigning division champion Houston Texans will be making the jump to Super Bowl contender. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Will Anderson Jr., and Eric Stingley Jr. round out an elite young nucleus. And newcomers Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, and Danielle Hunter could be the difference makers that get this team over the top. But who are the Jacksonville Jaguars? Trevor Lawrence still hasn't really put it all together throughout the course of a full year. The Josh Allen-led defense has immense potential, but it just hasn't been able to reach its ceiling yet. Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis were nice additions to the offense, but how much will they make up for Calvin Ridley's departure? The Indianapolis Colts were a fun story last year, finishing 9-8 without rookie QB Anthony Richardson for most of the year, but we still don't really know what Indy has with Richardson, a boomer-bust quarterback with major injury risk. The Colts have a nice set of playmakers led by Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr., and their front seven is among the best in football. But this team hasn't won double-digit games since 2020. So, you decide if you want to buy the hype on this mushy middle franchise. The Tennessee Titans finished last in the division with a 6-11 record last year. They lost Derrick Henry to the Baltimore Ravens in free agency, but found a solid replacement in Tony Pollard. Not to mention that the Will Levis-led passing game can only improve following the splashy additions of Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd. Still, the Titans seem a couple of years away from re-emerging as a contender in the AFC. Their ceiling right now is like 7 wins. So, you have one bona fide contender in the Texans, 2 hopeful playoff teams in Jacksonville and Indianapolis, and a rebuilding Titans squad. It is the ultimate mystery of a division, so we really cannot rank it any higher than 7th here. Number 6, AFC West. If the Kansas City Chiefs weren't the NFL's model franchise, this division would garner consideration for the dead last ranking. But alas, the Chiefs keep this team out of the basement. They're in the midst of a dynastic run after winning back-to-back Super Bowls, becoming the first team to hit that feat since the 2003 and 2004 New England Patriots. Somehow, Patrick Mahomes' squad got even scarier with the additions of Marquise Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. Once again, Andy Reid's group is the team to beat heading into this year. The Los Angeles Chargers are hoping to end years of underachievement with a new head coach GM regime of Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz. We have no doubt Harbaugh will restore relevance to this franchise, but, we're also not sure if the Bolts are really quite ready for that big jump. I mean, they lost Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler on offense, so Justin Herbert's set of playmakers consists of Josh Palmer, rookie Ladd McConkey, and sophomore Quentin Johnston. Yeah, not exactly ideal. If all breaks right, the Bolts may get a playoff berth, but 7-8 wins feels more likely. The Las Vegas Raiders went a respectable 8-9 last year, and we love the decision to make Antonio Pierce the permanent head coach. Plus the additions of defensive tackle Christian Wilkins and prize tight end prospect Brock Bowers. But come on, are you really sold on Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew II as their QB room? Yeah, that's what I thought. Neither are we. The Denver Broncos are in full-scale rebuilding mode after moving on from Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, and Justin Simmons. Either Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, or rookie Bo Nix will be running the offense. None of these options really screams wow. This is gonna be a year of growing pains for Denver following the disastrous Russell Wilson trade. So, you have the defending champions, two teams with minor postseason hopes, and a rebuilding team that'll be lucky to hit 5 wins. Yeah, I think aside from Kansas City, this division has seen much better days.
Had better days, Lois. Had better days.
Number 5, NFC East. Incredibly, the 2003 and 2004 Philadelphia Eagles are the last team to have won the NFC East Division crown in back-to-back years. This division has 2 consistent playoff teams in the Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. But whereas the Cowboys have a knack for choking in the postseason every single year, the Jalen Hurts-led Eagles were this close to a Super Bowl championship 2 seasons ago. The Eagles have one of the deepest rosters in football and should be a bona fide Super Bowl contender in 2024. The Cowboys, well, they're probably, most definitely get eliminated in the wild card or divisional round. Both the New York Giants and Washington Commanders are in full rebuilding mode. The Commanders should be more watchable with promising rookie Jaden Daniels leading the offense, and the Giants' passing game should improve with rookie Malik Neighbors giving this team a 5-star playmaker on offense. But the Giants and Commanders are nowhere even close to playoff contention. The Eagles are a top dog in the NFC, and the Cowboys at least get the job done in the regular season. So consider this a mushy middle division, hence the mushy middle ranking here at number 5. Number 4, NFC North. The NFC North is also a tricky division to rank here. You have one bona fide Super Bowl contender, one hopeful Super Bowl contender, and 2 teams loaded with young talent that may or may not be ready to compete for a playoff berth. Obviously, the NFC North starts with the Detroit Lions. Their team was a couple of non-miscues away from reaching their first Super Bowl in franchise history, only to cough up a 17-point lead to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Consider that a learning experience for the Lions, who have a top-tier offense and a steady defense that should be even better with Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold joining Brian Branch in the secondary. For the first time ever, we can say that it is Super Bowl or bust in Motor City. The Green Bay Packers were one of the big surprises of 2023, sneaking into the playoffs as the number 7 seed before destroying the Dallas Cowboys in the wildcard round. The Pack gave the top-seeded 49ers a bit of a scare in the divisional round before dropping a heartbreaker 24-21. Green Bay signed former rushing champion Josh Jacobs and star safety Xavier McKinney to help that young core of Jordan Love, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Devontae White, and Quay Walker. Will these moves help the Packers take that next step forward? Well, at the very least, this is going to be a wildcard team. The Chicago Bears had perhaps the most exciting offseason of all 32 teams in the league. They drafted Caleb Williams first overall and wasted no time surrounding him with weaponry, bringing in prized rookie wideout Rome Odunze, Pro Bowl wideout Keenan Allen, and former 1,000-yard rusher DeAndre Swift. Chicago's offense is gonna be can't-miss stuff, but do they have enough on defense outside of Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson to actually compete in the NFC? That right now is going to be the main cause for concern in Windy City. The Minnesota Vikings moved on from Kirk Cousins and brought in Sam Darnold as a bridge QB before drafting Michigan's J.J. McCarthy. This is a transition year for many, but the three-headed monster of Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, and Jordan Addison will ensure that the Vikings don't bottom out. Like Chicago, Minnesota's ceiling feels like 10 wins, but the worst-case scenario feels like 7 or 8 wins for both. Number 3, NFC West. This division has sent at least 2 teams to the postseason every single year since 2018. Since that year, the Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers have both won the NFC Championship twice, with LA winning the Super Bowl in the 2021 season. The San Francisco 49ers remain the class of the NFC West heading into 2024. Nobody in the division can challenge their star-studded roster headlined by Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner. San Fran remains the team to beat in the NFC heading into 2024, pure and simple. Sean McVay's Rams won 10 games and snatched a wildcard berth in a rebuilding year. Losing Aaron Donald to retirement does hurt, but there is still a great mix of veteran studs and young stars to help keep this team competitive. If Matthew Stafford can stay healthy and actually runs this offense efficiently again, the Rams will be a dark horse contender in the NFC. Remember, they only lost by 1 point to a much deeper Lions team in the wildcard round. The Seattle Seahawks missed the postseason in 2023 despite a 9-8 record. we do not buy them as a Super Bowl contender. But the potent offense and young secondary led by Reek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon will keep them in the playoff hunt. Double-digit wins and maybe a wild card berth aren't out of the question here. Now, the Arizona Cardinals are not quite ready for prime time, but it's still hard not to get excited about a Kyler Murray-led offense that just added a generational wide receiver prospect in Marvin Harrison Jr. Arizona is not going to be boring in 2024, we can say that much. And who knows, they may embrace the spoiler role, but the Redbirds are still a couple of years away from actually re-emerging as a playoff team in the NFC. Number 2, AFC East. There was a time where this division was ruled entirely by the New England Patriots in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era. Now, in a complete table-turnings era, the Pats are now the division cellar dwellers. This division is headlined by Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills, who have won 4 straight division crowns and qualified for the postseason in 5 straight years. Tua Tagovailoa's Miami Dolphins are no slouches either, with 4 straight winning seasons and consecutive wildcard berths. The Dolphins' explosive offense led by Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle should have them in title contention this year. Ditto for the Bills if Allen can get by with the departure of Stephon Diggs. You also have a New York Jets squad that'll contend for the playoffs and hopefully a Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers actually stays healthy. There's just too much talent on both sides of the ball for these Jets to actually disappoint. And the Patriots? Well, yeah, they're in rebuilding mode with new head coach Jared Mayo and rookie QB Drake May. But the Pats aren't going to move this division out of the number 2 spot. Not when the other 3 teams have realistic Super Bowl aspirations. Number 1, AFC North. The AFC North boasted 4 teams with winning records in 2023, marking the first time since 1935 where every team in a single division finished above 500. The Baltimore Ravens reached the AFC title game for the first time in the Lamar Jackson era. Jackson, who claimed the second MVP award, will always have the Ravens in contention as long as he manages to stay healthy. The Cincinnati Bengals' 2023 season was washed away with Joe Burrow's season-ending wrist injury, but the Bengals have gone to 1 Super Bowl and 2 AFC championships in Burrow's 2 healthy seasons. So, if he can stay healthy in 2024, the Bengals are a very legitimate player for the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns won 11 games and reached the postseason despite using 5 quarterbacks last year. If Deshaun Watson stays healthy and regains his Houston Texans star-like form, the Browns will also be a contender for the Lombardi Trophy. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 10 games and earned a playoff berth with the QB trio of Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and Mason Rudolph a year ago. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are significant upgrades over both men, so another 10-win season and postseason berth is very much within reach for Mike Tomlin's squad. But hey, what changes would you make to our rankings of the 8 NFL divisions? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, well, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.